Corey and Bettina was hilarious. Their little interview part, that was just hilarious to me. She was just her laugh. I'm going to insert her laugh here just so you know what I'm talking about.
Feel good you did everything you had to do while your little subjects waiting for you?
I just, gotta get cute for the camera.
But then you change your mind?
And also get some water.
Still want to take a sip.
Yep, I'm going to sip on that.
What's up, everybody? We are Heir BnB,
where the B stands for Brittany
and Basil.
Welcome to the Empire. If you like reviews like this one, reactions, games, all the little cute couple things, and you want to inherit all this wealth that we will be bringing to you, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well. That way you don't miss out on any of our uploads.
No doubt, no doubt. And today we're going to go ahead and continuing on with our recaps of the challenge with episode 2 of season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies. This episode is titled Bertha. And after episode 1, we see, once again, continuing on with the relationships in the house that have been established. Michelle talking about Emmanuel.
All the lovey-dovey relationships.
Yeah, and it seems like, the first episode they showed Emmanuel liking her. This episode, they're showing her liking on him.
Right, she's returning the favor.
But it's a little comment, so I wonder if something big's gonna happen between them, and that they're setting up all these little teasers just to remind us until the big thing happens to maybe shock us more. I don't know. We also see Tori and Kels getting into it a little bit more. She's dancing on them when they're all partying.
Then you see them cuddling in bed in the next scene together. So
most definitely. And Tori's like, she didn't come here for somebody. She came here to win that money. So she's trying to make sure that she doesn't get her mind clouded and lose what her objective is, which is be the challenge champion for this season and win that check. Also, we see a lot of the vets. It looks like they're targeting Kels.
Yes. I'm so upset because I really want to see him go far in this game, but I know he's a threat. I mean, if you just look at him, immediately you're like, no, we need him out the house. They're not even worried about the champions right now. They're worried about him. So
he's a big guy.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. They say he has a lot of people that he's building relationships with.
So yeah, he really did put a big target on his back right off the jump, which is sad.
Yeah, but it's also like Tori's built a relationship with him, but she has this alliance with the vets, and they gotta agree with each other, and so even Tori's kind of feeling a little juggled up between the two of them this episode.
I mean, she likes him, but it's really not enough to pick him over her game. So she's just going with whatever the right way is to do, which is if the vets are doing that. But Anissa told her, she was like, vote however you want to vote. We're not telling you to vote one way or another, but
Anissa's her friend,
never know.
Anissa's her friend, so you never know what Anissa might think like that, but Josh, who really was the ringleader at Fessy, pretty much the Big Brother alliance, they may look at that and be like, she's not a team player.
Exactly.
Devin might look at that and say the same thing. She's not a team player, so you never know.
Then the target will be on her back next. So the target would be on her back next if she were to side with him.
Most definitely another person who may have a target on their back from a vet is Berna, who the episode is actually titled after, her name being said incorrectly by a drunk Ashley.
And then Nelson proceeded to say it too, and he's the one that's
a little tipsy too, probably.
But he still should know how to say the girl's name right. He's now potentially trying to cuddle up to.
Yeah, Nelson's kind of going back and forth between Ashley and Berna, and Ashley's exposing she's catching some real feelings for Nelson. He said he was thinking we were just friends having fun, even though he said she moved out to where he was at. You would think that he would think she was taking it a little bit more serious. That's causing all drama in the house between the three of them, this love triangle. Berna's feeling a little threatened by it because she doesn't want the target on her back. Nelson's saying just play it cool, it'll blow over. Ashley's like, get her out the house, get her out the house.
Yeah,
drunk as a skunk, out of her mind, ready for her to be gone, get away from her man Nelson. With that being said, you want to get into the actual details of the episode?
So yeah, it started with them just partying as usual at night, all the hookups happening. And then fast forward to the next day, you got Nani, Ashley, Josh, Amanda, Kyle, Casey, and Fessy were all seen talking in the bed about basically who they wanted their next victim to be as far as who to throw into elimination. So that's when they all right then and there agreed, okay, we gotta get Kels out of here.
Time for Kels to go.
The next scene, you see Fessy opening up to Esther about Ramadan, so he's unable to eat or drink from sun up to sundown. So that's putting him in a tough spot because he's not sure how he will perform in the challenges, being not able to eat or drink. He might not have a lot of energy, but he actually can do really well, because then we get to the...
Well, we'll see. We saw he could do well this time, but we'll see how that plays on as the season progresses. If, as it gets tougher and tougher and it's fewer and fewer people, if that comes back to hurt him to come back on the challenge this season. It leads us straight into our daily challenge, Heli Heist. Whereas, the
TJ rolls in doing
that's right. Before we even get to that,
TJ gotta make a big grand entrance first and foremost. So he out here, and I don't even know what kind of car this is, but he got this sports car and he is zooming, swerving. He got a helicopter following him, above him. They are already hyped.
Cars. Two.
Yeah, there were two cars he was swerving through. Everybody was like super duper hype because they're like, oh my god, this looks so much fun. I wonder what this is gonna be. So basically the challenge is you got a helicopter and then there's gonna be two teams going against each other. So one teammate is gonna be in the helicopter. They have to rescue the precious gems that were stolen and then throw them to their partner, and their partner is gonna be hanging out of the sunroof in the car, catching the gems, throwing them in a bag, and then once they get to the finish line and the car comes to a complete stop, they have to get out and race to the finish line. Then there's like this big explosion at the end once they get there. So whoever has the most gems.
No reason for the explosion, just the challenge being extra.
I really, and it looked kind of fake. It might have just been an after effect. I don't even know if that was real. Knowing the challenge, it probably was real, but yeah. And then whoever has the most and the fastest time wins the challenge.
I thought this was a really fun challenge, a daily challenge for them to do. It looked like everybody was having fun, trying to catch the gems from the helicopter while they're riding with them. Just seemed like a really fun thing to do. We learned that who's the person that had to leave?
Lauren. So
Lauren left.
Lauren was gone, and I noticed something too because I saw all the partners were walking together, and I saw Josh by himself. But I'm like, wait a minute.
I just thought nobody liked him.
I mean, I would have left from being his partner too if it were up to me.
Oh my god!
I'm like, wait a minute, we don't have rogue agents this season, so why is he by himself? But yeah, it turns out his partner's gone.
And so TJ's like, well, we gotta have a replacement for it because there are no rogue agents this season. So he brought back somebody to be Josh's partner, and it turns out it was actually Amber B, who was co-winner, current champion, co-winner with CT last season's what's last season's episode? Double Agents. So she's back in the game. She's Josh's partner, and they were already showing some people in their feelings. Some people are happy. It was just like,
Nisa and Fessy were like not happy, but her and Fessy had the whole ordeal last season, so they weren't too happy. But a lot of people were really excited to see her, probably happy to be her partner too. Josh was ecstatic. He was like, this is what I'm talking about. But he was a little worried because he knows that his alliance isn't too fond of her, so that put him in a weird position.
Yeah, so some standout moments in this daily challenge for me was they had Big T and Emmy in the helicopter. Now, why Big T was in the helicopter, we know from last season. She's afraid of heights. I don't know, but it turns out Emmy is probably even more so afraid of heights and helicopters than Big T. And in the after show, we heard Big T was actually trying to console her and calm her down, which probably made Big T a little bit more nervous, just hearing all the stuff that Emmy was saying was so scary about it. So it was just funny knowing that the two people that were the most afraid end up being in there together. But it was fast moving. A lot of people, some people did better than others, as always. They got through them pretty fast, and then
Fessy and Esther. I'm like, okay, Esther throwing them hands. She's doing really, really good at this.
Amber B was throwing them too. I just don't think Josh was catching them as well.
Oh yeah, no, he was missing. They got like 10. He was missing every single last one.
Emmy was partnered up with Ed, who came in at the end of last episode. This episode, we got to know a little bit more about him. And I know last episode I said I hate all rookies. I love one rookie.
That's our
I
favorite.
love
Our new
Ed.
favorite. Ed is our boy.
I love Ed. That's my
love
boy.
Ed.
Ed.
It took one
say all day.
episode to love
If
him.
a rookie has to win, I'm okay if it's Ed.
I love
I'm okay
Ed.
if it's Ed. I'm okay. He still can't beat Darrell, but he can win this season.
Darrell is not in this
Well,
episode.
if they ever in
The
the season together, then he knows he can't beat him, but he can beat everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. So then we get towards the end of it. Everybody is went, and they have to say who wins. We find out it's between Fessy and Esther against Casey and Emmanuel. And Casey and Emmanuel have 28, but Fessy and Esther have 30. So they are the winners. So even with the Ramadan and him not being able to eat yet, he still comes through, wins the second daily challenge.
Unfortunately.
He's a second time daily challenge winner 2 seasons in a row because he won last season with Anissa in the second daily challenge. Now Fessy has the power. As you can tell, there are a couple of vets that are a little concerned. Nelson's a little concerned. And Amber B, who just came here, even though she may not have known at the time, has a little reason to be concerned because Fessy's really considering throwing her in when him and Josh are talking about it. And Josh is like, no, man, she's not going to do nothing.
He wants to put her in.
So he's clearly holding on to some grudges, and she's holding, I think she is at least cautious of him.
She's definitely holding on to some grudges. Yeah. But even Emmy, she's worried because she thought she did horrible. So she's having a whole meltdown crying like, oh my God, I'm the weakest. Like, you're putting all that in people's heads now. So now they're looking at you like, okay, now, yeah, you are the weakest. Last week, you were ready to kick your own friends out who you were team with. And now you're crying because you think you did so bad. And now you're telling everybody you're the weakest one here. Now she's worried that she could be going in.
Yeah, so she took that tough. She was really nervous about that. And I felt kind of bad for her. But at the end of the day, her team didn't win. It's over. She is done. The competition is done. It's time to go have some fun. So that's what they do. They go out to the club. That's where Nelson is talking to Kels and trying to start some type of alliance with him. Kels does not want to do that. He's not trying to start an alliance with anybody yet. He's just, let's just go ahead and do it.
Playing it cool.
Let's just go ahead and go with the flow, play it cool. What he didn't know is that they had already pretty much discussed about maybe throwing him in. So that just escalates even further. Josh is already trying to do that. That's the plan, to get Kels in.
Why? This is what I want to know, because Fessy comes up to Kels and he's like, dude, basically, I mean, we're both good players here. Why don't you and I look out for each other? Why would he? I wonder if Kels said no, because he's like, I don't trust you because you're just asking me this basically because you're in power and you're kind of trying to control the situation here. But if Kels had said, okay, I wonder if they were still even going to throw him in.
Well, Kels was going to be the house vote. So what Fessy was doing was actually quite genius. Fessy was never going to say his name that night. Everybody agreed that if Kels was going to go in, he was going to be the house vote. So what Fessy was doing was, if Kels goes in, is the house vote, and comes back, he's not going to hold a grudge against Fessy.
So Fessy was, because he has to pick the agency. But Kels was like, I don't think I'm even going to be the house vote. But I see. So if he were to be the house vote, Fessy would have his back if he had come back. They would be on each other's team.
More importantly, he would not go against Fessy. So Fessy can play him and be like, I'm actually kind of secretly conspiring against you. But if that doesn't work, then you don't know that. So you actually, let's team up together and be partners. So, again, messy Fessy, right?
Yeah, he's living up to the name. And then right after that, he goes up to Josh because he's mad that Kels turned down his little weasel deal. That's what Jordan said to Wes. And he's like, yeah, we're going to do Kels. Like, it's going to be him, basically.
Also, this is the same time where Ashley spills her heart out and Nelson kind of like, we're cool, but I didn't know you thought like this.
Yeah,
and this is when she gets tipsy. They go back to the house. She's saying she wants her gone. Smashly Ashley. She wants Berna gone. She's taking her man, calling her Bertha. Naming this episode. She slaps Huey, who her partner actually tries to calm her down. She's
trying to
going
calm her
down,
and she slaps him.
CT's like, like everybody else keeps saying, like, Nelson. Uh-oh, Nelson. Ashley's freaking out. She's having a meltdown. This might end up costing you your game.
Yeah, because he knows how Ashley is. She was like, this is like her property is how she acts like it. So now he's over here flirting with other people. She is going ballistic, and she already has alcohol in her system. So they warned him, like, this is what you're going to get with Ashley.
Well, it was supposed to be a night of fun. You know, of course, it's a challenge, so it's always going to be drama. It can't always be 100% fun. You know, even the best moments, we know something's coming around the corner. Next day.
That's foreshadowing, because earlier they said they were trying to calm Emmy down, telling her, you're not going to go in because something at the bar is going to happen. It always does. And then when that person makes a fool out of themselves, they're going in. And then CT was like, yeah, you. CT or Devin. They was like, yeah, you. And she was like, ah, ha, ha. And she was the one that was acting a fool.
But again, the vets are united, so Ashley's pretty much fine as long as she don't do nothing too crazy. So again, just a little bit more politicking, same old stuff. Josh, Devin, and a few others want to send in Kels. They telling, like same stuff we said, they telling Tori she's got to choose between her relationship with Kels or the starting relationship she has with Kels or playing her own game. Of course, she plays her own game and she gets the blessing from Anissa to pick somebody else. But that takes us into the deliberation where we got to figure out who's getting voted in? What team is getting voted in by the House?
And
right off the bat.
This is where everything took a complete turn, 180.
So right off the bat, like Josh just comes out of it and just makes up this lie about Kels, saying that he's got to deal with like everybody. And Kels is like, what are you talking about? I don't have to deal with anybody.
That's awkward. Like,
yeah,
what?
He's like, I know, and all this stuff. Now, you know, Josh is just, you know, full of it. And he's admitting it that it's fake, but I just thought...
Yeah, he admitted it wasn't true. But
I thought that was a rookie mistake to put yourself out there like that with something that's not true. Especially once Kels went around the table, started asking different people, do we have a deal? Do we have a deal? Do we have a deal?
And
everybody's like, no. But Josh is still holding on to it, but he's trying to plant that seed of doubt and hoping that would get Kels sent into elimination.
Well, yeah, and Kels was like, just Josh, if I was making deals with people in this house, you will not be the one to figure that out. And that's actually true. Like, Josh, stop. You don't know. You never know what's going on. And now you're making up stupid, pointless lies. Everybody knows that you're a little nutsy in the head. So, he was like, just admit it. You're shook of me. You're shook of me. Yeah. That's all it is. And Josh is like, no, that's not it. Okay, Josh.
Well, yeah, that's what he was saying there. But then, and you know, when he was talking to himself, he was like,
by himself.
Yeah, man, he's a tough competitor, man. He's a threat. So, of course, Kels is a big guy. And like a lot of them were saying, he was building a relationship, so his politicking was getting strong. Had a good chance of being safe from elimination. But with that deliberation done, they voted. And unfortunately, Kels and his partner Tracy, they were thrown into elimination.
No.
We already knew that they were going in, and it was time to see who they were going to go against to try to fight to stay into the house, which again, the agency gets to pick that, and they were ready to go ahead and choose their names, the two people they want to go in against, Kels and Tracy.
Yep, so they ended up picking Emmy and Ed to go in. So, of course, Emmy is crying again.
She's like the new Camilla.
She really is. The nicer Camilla.
A nicer version, though. Version.
Yeah, she's young. She's talking about my childhood. Everybody betrayed me. But, girl, nobody's really betraying you. Like, somebody's got to go in. And
Mr. TJ?
Yeah, Mr. TJ.
Mr. TJ.
I'm very upset.
They're going against each other, and the name of this elimination is Flipping Agents. Pretty much what it is, they're like strapped to like these like a cage door looking type thing. There's one person is strapped to it, and their partner has to release them to go forward, holding the rope, holding them. And then the person that's strapped to it, they have like this stick with a magnetic end that's supposed to attach to like these group of boxes, these cubes.
There's 12 cubes.
12 cubes.
12 six-sided cubes. And there's only magnets on two sides. So they have to try to figure out where the magnet is. Mostly it was one on top and then one on the side. So they had to connect the end of the rope to the magnet and try to pull the box up without dropping
because it could drop off.
Yes.
After you collect all of the boxes, then you have to align them up in a particular order. Like it's a puzzle that you got to solve with the boxes at the end.
So now Tracy and Emmy are the ones strapped to the cage. So they're going head to head, picking up the boxes. And Tracy could not get not one box from the beginning. I don't know what her strategy was. It's like she just kept pulling it. Like, no, it's a magnet. You can't pull the rope off the box. So it was like she was doing that. So Emmy was in the lead the majority of the time.
Yep.
Then it came down to the last box that Emmy had, and she couldn't figure out where the magnet was. Because remember, it's only 2 sides to it. So she had to try to, they're like, I don't know, what, 50 feet in the air or something like that with this long rope.
They're 50 feet in the air, but they're a nice amount of distance.
They're high up in the air. They're pretty far up. And just trying to like twist and turn the box to get the magnet was so hard on the last one. So Tracy ended up catching up to her. Then they were both on the last one. But Emmy was on it for so long that she finally got it. So her and Ed were the first ones to the puzzle. Ed already knew that it was a map, but Devin, you got Devin in the background.
What did he say? It's a map of the globe or whatever.
Like, Ed, listen to me. It's a globe. It's the map. He's like,
it's the map of something. He's like, I
map.
know.
He said, I know that. He's like, okay. So he was already, he knew what he was doing. As soon as they got up there, they put the puzzle together. They were done. So, but Kels and Tracy were so close.
So the vet's plan worked. Kels is gone.
Work.
Unfortunately, Tracy, who they were not targeting, she's attached to Kels, so she's gone too. Tori is devastated. No, she was fine.
Yeah, she was actually kind of pleased because now there's no love interest.
There's no love interest. There's no threat, and there's nobody like for the vets to try to test her loyalty with. Mm-hmm. She's there by herself, focused on getting that money. It's $1 million out this season. So then, of course, Ed and Emmy, they won. They get to pick if they want to stay together or still. They each can steal a partner from someone else.
Infiltrate
and steal. So they both decided, even though they did a good job together, they were going to take somebody else. They were going to choose another partner. Mm-hmm. Ed picked Tori. She's been shown to be very popular. She's a very popular pick. She picked last episode, and
another popular
Emmy followed suit and picked Devin.
Number 1 draft pick.
Number 1 draft pick, baby. He was like, yeah.
He was head over heels. He was ecstatic.
You would have thought he won an Olympic gold medal or something, the way he was acting.
Like, he
high-fiving everybody. Like, yes.
Picked over Corey, picked over Kyle, picked over CC.
So, yes, pretty much the same people that were picked last
exactly.
episode got picked this episode. And because of that, the same people that were together last episode that were in elimination together end up getting put back together. Corey L. and Michelle, showing us that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Right.
Leading into episode 3. So yeah, that was this episode. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed the daily challenge. Mm-hmm. I thought it was smart to get Kels out of there.
No.
I mean, I know you don't want him gone, but I'm just saying in general.
They could have used him later. Say you got rid of all the rookies that were like, I don't know.
You throw Kels in there every time until you get them out. That's what I say. And I think they had a good...
It's okay.
They were able to do that because even the rookies were like, bro, he got to go. This dude is too big. He has to go.
He'll be back, though.
He'll probably be back.
It's always like the good people will leave first, but then when they come back, they have a different game plan. People end up liking them, and then they want them on their side because it could be a whole nother ball game next season. So I think he'll be back, and then he'll probably be a regular, hopefully.
I thought that this elimination was a little bit more, even for people because it didn't involve you like physical strength over somebody. It was just like, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
It was like individual between the two teams focusing on themselves but trying to still want to beat the other person. Mm-hmm. So I like that. Did you enjoy the episode today? Thought it was good, bad, whatever?
I like this one because it just seemed like it was straight to the point, but it was an hour and 30 minutes long. So I love long episodes.
Unnecessary.
It's not. A lot happened, but it was just like, it was just kind of the main things going on, and then it was straight to the point. And I liked the challenge. It looked really fun up until the elimination, but I already had an idea that Kels and Tracy were going home because Emmy still got to do her hall brawl, so I knew she was going to stay. So I was already expecting him to go home at that point. So I was a little disappointed, but then I got over it. But I liked the episode. I'm still so ready and excited for all the rest of the challenges to come. I know it's going to be some crazy stuff. People are about to be bleeding, nose busted next episode in the water in the cave. So I'm scared to see that.
Okay, so that's how we felt about the episode, but we want to know how you guys felt. What you think to this episode? What you think of the elimination? Were you sad, happy, indifferent? What are you expecting for next week's episode? What are you expecting for the season overall? And who do you want to be the challenge champion for season 37, Spies, Lies, and Allies? Please tell us all that and anything else you want to comment on down below in that comment section. And thank you all so much for tuning in. We hope to see you next time.
Yes, thank you all. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video. Also, leave your comments about today's episode, as Basil said. And share this video with your friends and loved ones, whoever you think may be interested. More videos to come like this on different shows and topics, etc.
Of course.
Also, head over to my YouTube channel, Barilla Mode, for your fashion, hair, beauty, lifestyle tips.
And head over to my YouTube channel, Whack Entertainment, for the Whackcast podcast. You can also get on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and you can get some of our whack wisdom, which is just our opinions on everyday topics and pop culture.
Well, that is it, everyone.
Everyone.
Now we are off the air.
Off the air.
See you next time. We still didn't make a handshake. What are we going to do?
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
All right. Next time we're going to have a handshake. All right. Bye.